Yeah. Powered by Riverside.
Dressed up everybody. I want
Oh man.
This is why.
We don't get a copyright letter from Dragon Ball Z.
Hey, listen. Hey, Zach, I put Will on last week.
Oh, my gosh.
Have you seen Dragon Ball Abridged, Zach?
No.
Oh, my God.
Do not do it.
I'm doing it to you what I did to Will when we get done recording today. It will change your life.
I think I've seen.
If you thought you
I've
was on
seen it, but it's
TikTok
been a
lot.
while. It's been a while since I see it because it was on YouTube like
It's still on YouTube
a while back. So
yeah.
I probably have seen some of it and just don't remember.
You need to watch every last bit of it. All 87 hours.
No.
Will knows. I'm surprised he made it here.
You will not.
It's actually on his second monitor right now.
Probably some. I thought I saw Kamehameha wave through his glasses. I thought that's what that was.
It's a Destructo disc.
Right. So, anyway, this is about pageantry arts because this is the On the Back podcast.
Usually. Majority of the time, maybe.
Yeah. My name is Cedric. I'm here with Will Zach today. Chris is going getting educated at a conference. So he gets all types of stuff going on. I'll be back on Sundays. Every time I leave, I'll be back. I don't know. I'll just record from my phone. I don't care. Gotta keep the street going.
Telling you,
street alive.
You the lone survivor.
This is like that at school.
It'll be 1-to-1.
It's like that at school. Like me and a couple other teachers, we battle each other out to see who can go to with the least amount of days missing in school.
I mean, that's kind of how I grew up. I'm like in a small bracket of people who have 12 years of perfect attendance.
I missed 6 days.
I didn't miss any school days.
I missed a week in first grade because I had the chicken pox.
I think it was. Yeah, by my class, I think it was either 2 or 3 of us that pulled that off by my senior year, and we all got awards for it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And then I missed a day my freshman year because I came to Kentucky to register, and my North Carolina school counted me absent. I was like, ooh.
That's rude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I missed 6 days and 13 years of public education. So
I probably missed 6 every year. I don't know. I was at school. I was a good student, but I mean, if I was sick, I was out. I ain't going.
Yeah, I went. I don't want to be sitting at home. I like school.
That's the thing. I just didn't get sick that much because even my mom said, she's like, you just don't get sick that often. But when I do,
have to go to my granny's and watch The Price is Right.
Listen, what I do, it's like deathbed. It's like,
it probably feels like deathbed because you don't get sick often,
and that's probably it. Yeah.
Everybody else is like, oh, this is a cold. And you're like, oh my god,
oh my god, it's malaria. It's smallpox. What is happening to me?
It was like, dude, you don't even have a fever. Like, stand up. It was like, oh.
This is why women say men turn into babies when they're
the man cold.
Straight child.
The man flu.
I'll be feeling bad. I'll be feeling bad. She'll be like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
I want blanket.
Like, you don't sound fine. You don't sound fine. I'm okay. I don't need America. Deep down, I'm like, I want my mama. I need somebody come hold me.
I mean, you be back in the job middle of summer talking about some man up.
Yeah. They're talking to the kids. I don't care.
Yeah. What's wrong with y'all?
Shoot. Yeah. Horrible. Just horrible. But anyway, so we've had some, we're in the middle of the WGI season. We're in week 3, I believe, of the season. And it's actually the first week for percussion regionals. So today we'll probably talk a little bit more about what we've seen in the percussion side of things, and wind regional as well. Do not want to forget about them going on. But as we've been doing, I think it's a pretty good format. We'll begin by just recapping all of the regional champions and any notable things that we see in the color guard, winds, and percussion circuits or whatever like that. So, some of you guys I'm just going to do that, and you can. So if you want to dig deeper into conversations, you can probably push towards the end. But you might have some good stuff for you. I don't know. Monday we need to say it, have a hidden word or something. You might get them a T-shirt if they actually hear the hidden word. So, I don't know. I might be doing too much. I'm gonna shut up. All right. So there were 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of guard.
Yeah, it was
we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to start off with Philly, announcing our regional champions.
6.
There, huh? What?
It might have been 6.
Yeah, it was
unless
6.
I counted wrong.
I might have counted wrong. It was a lot. So in Philly, the Scholastic Regional A champions was Phoenix High School's junior group. Independent Regional A, Pegasus 2, spelled TOO. Interesting. Winter Guard takes the Independent Regional A championship. In Scholastic A, we have Bellarica. I'm going to say that probably wrong. Bellarica Memorial Combined Schools out of Massachusetts taking the Scholastic A. In Independent A, we have West Shormy. Yeah, there we go. Out of Pennsylvania. Scholastic Open, we had Somerville High School. And in Independent Open, we had the Mainline Independent group. And it's Independent World Amp Winter Guard.
Winter Guard.
Yeah, Will, why don't you talk about that one?
Y'all go see that. Listen, it is enjoyable. I really, really enjoy AMP this year. AMP has got a really cool show. Look, I don't care what people say. I don't want to ruin it or spoil it for people. It's got a lot of hype in it, a lot of movement, a lot of color schemes and everything. I am really digging the way the track was arranged and edited and stuff like that. Hopefully they can make finals, and if they do, I don't know. I think me and Sid, we talked about this. We don't know if they still do fan favorite or not, but for me, that's a good, high, close fan favorite group right now. That's a good show. That's a good show Amp's got going on.
Yeah, I caught a peek of the floor, and that floor design is sick.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for it. Maybe I can catch that on a weekend or on a replay day that they have for flow. Moving on to Chicago. Give me a deep dish pizza. Scholastic Regional A champion goes to Brownburg High School A. An Independent Regional A Stepette Cadets color guard. Illinois takes Independent Regional A. Scholastic A champions is Mason High School. Shout out to Larry A. Rowell making the trek up to Chicago.
See y'all in that 82?
Yeah. With the bronze medal up there. It's Scholastic A. An Independent
Kentucky
A.
proud.
Yep. An Independent A. Purdue University takes that title. Scholastic Open. Brownsburg High School's varsity guard takes that. And an Independent Open, Allegiance takes the win there. And Scholastic World, Avon High School with a nice number, 84.3, winning the Scholastic World Championship at Chicago. And Elevate wins the Independent World Division there. So, excuse me. I always like seeing the universities doing well.
Yeah. That was surprising. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, some universities are starting to take pride in their indoor and winter groups and then
and getting involved, in them. Man.
Yeah.
Getting involved in this activity for real.
So happy to see that. In Tampa, the Scholastic A, we had Lyman High School take that championship there. In Independent A, Tampa Independent A wins there in a close battle over University of South Florida. In the Scholastic Open, Somerset Academy wins the championship there. Scholastic World, Tarpon Springs with a nice number, 85.7.
Tarpon.
World.
Let's go.
Just like I said, just a tradition of excellence at that school. Yeah.
Man,
and in Independent World, Tampa Independent varsity guard takes Independent World at the Tampa Regional. Moving on right along to the Gulfport Regional. Here in Mississippi. Scholastic Regional A, you have Pearl High School taking first place over some other familiar faces. Pace High School's winter guard, both cracking 80, but congratulations to Pearl for pulling that out in Regional A. In Independent Regional A, J Independent takes that with a big number, 85.98. So that's a huge number with them. They might want to look at moving into A.
About to say.
In Independent A, Jackson Independent takes the championship there. Scholastic A, E.D. White.
E.D. Let's go.
Followed close by Fort Walton Beach out of Florida. So E.D. White showing up in the guard world as well. And in Independent World, we have Reverie out of Atlanta taking the championship down in Gulf Coast for World. Moving right along to Charlotte, North Kakalaki. Scholastic Regional A, River Bluff High School takes that championship there. And Scholastic A, Grassfield, sorry, trying to speak too fast. Grassfield High School takes the Independent A title over Dobbins Bennett and Holly Springs, so highly competitive class there. And Scholastic A, and Independent A, Noir Independent takes the championship there. Scholastic Open champions, Cleveland High School out of Clayton, North Carolina, takes that. Independent Open champion, A2 Opens class group takes the championship there.
Go ahead, A2.
Scholastic World, Marvin Ridge High School takes the Scholastic World Championship. And then Independent World had a little bit of a battle, but Paramount said, y'all look too little for us right now. Paramount wins Scholastic Worlds with an 86.7.
That show's good.
The Charlotte Regional. So you get to see that one?
I didn't, but I've seen Paramount.
You've seen Paramount.
Seen clips. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get to see the show, no. But I've been a fan of Paramount for a while.
Yeah, they typically have some.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then our feature regional, and the only reason why I'm calling it feature regional, because it was the one that was showing on Flow Marching. So there you go. San Diego.
However you say it.
Out in California. In Scholastic Regional A, Colony High School takes that. Vista Marietta takes the Scholastic A championship out there. And Independent A, Elon Winterguard takes that one. And Independent A, Scholastic Open, El Dorado High School takes it. We're in a very, very close battle over Mount Carmel High School. 0.3 points. So somebody must have blinked when they were supposed to blink. Battle gets that tight. In Independent Open, Vox Artium takes the title there at a pretty good margin. Scholastic World, Arcadia High School puts down a solid number with a solid gap over Chino Hills. In the Scholastic World. And in Independent World, Fantasia takes the Independent World Championship at San Diego. So, Will, did any of those groups stand out to you?
I had on this regional, I was pushing and I was more hyped, because it was the first weekend of the percussion, so I was excited for that. But the few that I did catch, there were some decent ones. I didn't get to catch everybody. I want to say one of them that I might have seen was maybe somebody in Scholastic. It might have been Homestead, okay. Even though they got lashed. I think I'm guessing at that. I'm guessing at that because a lot of these shows, it was on, but I wasn't able to watch it because I was trying to get so much stuff done at the same time.
Yeah. So and there was another regional happening.
Exactly. So it's like God, it's like trying to pull back and forth, and then who's still on and who's not, and blah blah. So a lot of stuff became background noise, and then I get to turn back on. I know I caught Arcadia, and I know I caught Fantasia. Fantasia show was real interesting. They got some cool props on the floor. I don't even know what they are. It's like this big white bar on this kind of ramp thing, and they're pushing out all over the floor. The floor design is pretty cool though. But I feel like they had a really pretty decent run. Man, we say it all the time, the way they choreograph these shows, man, and then if you get a chance to see Fantasia, look at it and look at those props and just look how they do their drill and stuff in and out of it. It's crazy. It's crazy, but yeah, this weekend I put a lot of effort into the percussion side.
Is that anybody you looking forward to seeing? That you're a little hype about?
Just in general, or specific to guard or percussion, or
just guard right now?
Guard. I still haven't seen Magnolia Project, so I'd like to see them. Home team. I want to see Lexus again as well. I haven't got to see any guards since really the Avon regional. So some of those groups that caught my eye, like Lexus, as well as Pride of Cincinnati, of course, and was it Onyx that had the really strange,
the white floor?
That was
Onyx. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I need to see my side gig, my part-time job on the weekends kind of always falls in the time when the shows are on. So I try to have it on, but I don't get to really watch intently as I would like to because I'm doing other things as well.
Yeah. Thank God for the 2-day regionals, that we can catch the finals and stuff on Sunday.
Yes. Yes.
So,
because for me, after.
Go ahead.
All I was going to say is for me, after seeing, I was trying to see, I was like, hopefully they do go to finals, but after seeing that Tarpon Springs score, I hope that shakes up a lot of stuff.
I think I saw a clip of them either on Instagram or did you put it on your story?
I don't think it was me. I have seen a clip from Instagram though. If it wasn't Instagram, then it was Twitter.
Yeah. Maybe it was Twitter.
It's nice.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, they got props on the floor too, and a lot of stuff, and darker colors going on.
Yes.
But yeah, after seeing that score and just already knowing what Avon and Carmel and them have been doing, let's go and shake this up. I'm here for that.
So, much like you guys, Onyx always intriguing me, especially with their floor and what they're doing. It's such a I use the word plain, color palette, but like how effective they use it is just
it's very
crazy,
minimalist.
Yes,
it's crazy.
That is a better word for that. And so them Avon with Jane Bond. I want to see where that goes, and I'm interested now to see that amp show too, with the floor and everything that they do.
Yeah, Will was talking about it, and I pulled up a new tab and was looking to see what they were doing, and that looks like interesting.
Yeah. So lots of good things happening in the color guard world, and like I said, they've been in the game for a few weeks now, so you're going to start seeing some moving and some shaking. We don't have the overall rankings for them just yet, being that the regionals just ended today. WGI's got to compile up those scores and real little ahead of schedule, so I might do a short just talking about the rankings on YouTube, so just make sure you check that out. If I do that, it'll be there when those scores get released. Moving on to Winds. So Winds had their regional premiere weekend this week. So we're going to talk about them. Drum Break still has not been able to compile stuff just yet, but as soon as they do, we'll start getting some head-to-head rankings out there. We're going to start in Orlando with the Orlando regionals, and they only had independent world groups there. In independent world, Strike wins, takes the win with an 82.1. Second place was Horizon wins with a 77.9, And third place was Legacy out of Miami, Florida, with a 70.6. And so that was Orlando. In Chicago, in Scholastic A wins, Lake Central takes the regional title for 75.75. Comenium takes Independent Open wins. I'm not trying to bump y'all yet. Sorry.
No. Hold on now.
For 74. And then in the Scholastic, right? And then in Scholastic World, Avon High School with a nice number in the women's division with an
showing their face already.
With an 83.350. In Trumbull, we had, and they only had one group, Independent Open, Dartmouth, with an 83.5. So a nice number with them out there.
Avon.
Let me make sure that there were no more groups there. Okay, there was no one. I didn't figure there'd be cuts or anything with that many groups. And then out in California, that's the captain's disappearance. Out in California, you had Pinecrest Academy of Nevada Cadence Campus.
God dang. We gotta call y'all PANCC. What is PANCC?
Yeah. Yes, that stuff on it. Wednesday, Scholastic A with a 72. And Independent Open, you had Chaotic, which the announcer could not say their name. He said their name about 15 different ways. Now, I'm not sure I said it right.
I just let it go. I was hollering in the background.
But
when it was going on, I was
he
like,
literally said it, like, every time he said it a different way. But yeah, shout out to him. They had they won Independent Open with a 68.45, and then the Independent World, you had White Rose wins out of LA. Win that class for 76.250. So wins groups are starting to pop up, and you're going to see more of those as we get to some of the bigger regionals. And there are this year, I think for the first time, there are strictly win class regionals. So like no drums there, no guards there, just strictly wins. So that's going to be cool. And it's down in Mount Juliet. What week is that? I think it's the week that we go to Muhlenberg. If not, I was thinking about going and doing some.
It'd be worth it.
Doing some live coverage.
Y'all can.
Of that. So that's our independent wins. All right, so premier weekend as far as regionals is concerned for the percussion world. So we got some stuff to go through, so let's get into it. Also, before we get into that, just like for color guard, for wins, wins group, anybody looking forward to seeing? No.
Now that I've seen Dart. Huh? What'd you say?
I said nobody was saying that. I was like, all right, good talk.
For me, now that I done seen Dartmouth pop out a nice round number, I want to see him and Avon go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Do it.
Yeah.
Everybody got mad at Avon last year.
Avon made everybody mad in every class ever.
Even in independent, they ain't got nothing to do with them.
Like just mad. That's what's gonna happen to them. They're gonna get promoted to the independent class. They're gonna
How does this even work?
I don't know. That's not a thing. People don't get excited.
Yeah, we just like
somebody be out there be like,
right,
he said,
pull up the whole comments. Wait a minute.
Good Lord. So in Chicago, back to Chicago, the percussion regional went as following. And Scholastic Marching A, Plainfield Combined Schools takes the Scholastic A Marching Regional Championship there. And Independent Marching A, Modulation Z, wins that one by a hefty margin.
Mm-hmm.
In Concert A, Romeville High School wins that caption. They had a huge penalty. I don't know what it was for. That 70 is not real. I mean, it's real, but it's not real. And then in Concert Open, you had Munster High School out of Munster, Indiana, for 76. And they're a solid group. I get to catch them every now and then. And that's a solid group out there at Monster High. In Orlando. Yeah, this ought to be for sure. Should we wait? Nah, let's go ahead. We're here now. We're here now. Yeah, we're
I was like, well, yeah, came back out now.
There you go.
All right.
All right. In Scholastic Marching A, Stoneman Douglas High School wins that class. Congratulations to them. In Independent Marching A, Infinity 3 wins the Independent Marching A.
How many they got now?
It's 3. It's just 3.
It's infinity.
Right, infinity.
Well, here we go. And Concert Open, Timber Creek High School, nice number, 82.9 takes the Concert Open Regional in Orlando. And Independent Marching, no. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, they included the wins.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I screwed up too far. In Scholastic Marching Open, Newsom High School wins that class. In Independent Marching Open, Atlas Percussion out of Jacksonville, Florida, won that over Q2. And in the Independent Marching World, in first place was Infinity 2. And that's not Infinity also. That is Infinity number 2.
Who used to be Open.
Yes.
Who got bumped recently.
To World.
To World Class.
And beat their bigger brother, Infinity.
And it counts. I don't care what they say.
I mean, listen. It counts. If it was World, that would be the result.
Yeah,
that would be it.
And that would be tragic.
And those things happen. So one, shout out to Infinity 2 for getting bumped.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big
Two, shout out to Infinity 2 for scoring at 82 in their first week of World Class.
That part.
Because they got bumped last week.
Yes. And already beat Atlantic West.
Yeah, last Saturday they were in open class group. This Saturday they were a World Class group. And then 3, shout out for beating your big brother. Cause
yes,
when I saw it, I was like, that's got to be a typo, right? But then I scanned over. And if you want to know, Infinity got a penalty. I don't know what the penalty was for. Somebody that was there, let us know in the comments.
See, you'll do the kicker?
Yeah, you can do the kicker.
But the kicker is with the penalty, Infinity still only beat Infinity 2 by 2 points. What is really happening?
Yeah.
Even with the penalty, once you add it up to Infinity score, because they got a 74, and you put the penalty on top of it, they only beat Infinity 2 by 2 points. That is wild.
Yeah.
I've been saying for years that I've been wanting Powell to beat Powell Pros Percussion. I'm sorry. I said it. I just want it to happen because I think it'd be fun.
And
like, come on, y'all. What is the point? What is the point?
For a high tier, upper tier, independent world group.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't care. I don't want to say they don't care about these local shows, but like they are willing to take a penalty.
True.
Just to make sure that the read that they get is a true read.
True.
I'm willing to bet, and I don't, like I said, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet it was an electronic issue,
something like that nature. I guarantee.
That score they probably ended up doing the show without electronics.
Yeah,
they were probably just like, we gonna eat this.
Because I've seen it many a time. Because Mystique will do it in a heartbeat. They'll sit there and they will tamper with them electronics for a good minute, and depending on what the show they're at, if it's that serious, then they'll go on without it because they got those type of shows where theoretically, hell, they don't really need it, but they will tamper with them electronics. It's gonna work.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe they were just trying to get their electronics to get going and decided they would take a penalty.
Because it's worth it.
So they could get it to work.
What you said, yeah.
I mean,
so whatever it was.
Because like you said, I mean, you still get a rep. You still get commentary and
that's the
feedback.
Most important is that
penalty,
feedback.
Whatever. Let them have it, talk it up, and take your feedback, and because that's what's more important.
True.
I know last year when I took my group to Atlanta, our prelims run, we couldn't get stuff working the way that we wanted to with electronics, and I had to make a decision. I was just like, do we play without this, or do we just let it roll? For me, I was like, I can't put my kids out there not feeling their best. As far as like, I don't want to say that electronics was a safety net,
but it's part of the package, man.
It's part of the package.
Yeah.
It's a whole energy thing.
And that would have been in their head the whole day.
All day.
2 years ago, with our marching show, we had a big, long, like pre-show intro that we couldn't get it to work at regionals, and the kids never recovered because they're so used to hearing that, and that starting them that they could not. It just that didn't work, and it just never came together. So I get it.
Yeah, that's why, man, as us as designers, man, the stuff that we do, it's so touch and go, because you want so bad to, to include these, icing on the cake type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You want to include
you almost have to
sound
now.
Effects, and
it's not that you want to, it's you got to if you want to keep up with everybody.
But then it's like you're still cross with, I still needed to design this show to a point where if it goes out, we got to still roll on, and they don't freak out because they're not hearing such and such, and that's where you got to find that balance. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's tough. We all depend on it, electronics to some extent in some way. And when it's not there, like I said, you got to design the show to where it works with or without it. So,
because man, 1 year, real quick, Troy. 1 year, what was it? Mystique did not have their electronics, and we were at.
Was it the?
No, it was a circuit show.
It was a video game show.
Yeah, it was the year they did the. What was the name of that show?
The game?
Yeah, Game. The Game or something like that. Yeah, The Game. 2015, The Game. And we was at just a circuit, and the electronics didn't work. It was one of the most impressive years because you heard so much stuff that you never did when the electronics were on. And the way they just adapted to the electronics not being on, they made their own bird whistles, and the way they counted for each other, and just the bass solo impressed like everybody. It was just so crystal clear and modulated and dynamic and all the kinds of. It was just ridiculous. Sometimes it can be beneficial, but yeah, man, it's all a gamble. It's all a gamble.
Yeah, we can talk about that. We can get back into that a little bit later. But yeah, so all right, in Trumbull, Connecticut. I think they're in Connecticut. A lot of the groups are from up there. It's somewhere up there in the northeast. How about that? So I don't sound more dumb than I already do.
It's you're right.
All right, in Scholastic Marching A, New Milford High School takes the Scholastic Marching A with a good number, 83. Independent Marching A, Southeastern Connecticut Winter Percussion. My fool takes Independent Marching A Championship. In Marching Open, we had a nice little battle. Old Bridge comes out on top, big number, 86. Over Fairlawn and Norwalk and Trumbull. In Independent Marching Open, United Percussion 2 takes the win with an 83.4. Scholastic Marching World, Dartmouth High School, big number for them, 87.45. They coming.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
And in Independent Marching World, United Percussion takes the title there with an 87.8. So some nice big numbers out of the Trumbull Regionals from some heavy hitters out there. So they're doing some good things out there. And then our feature regional today actually happened today because of snow, of all things, in California.
What is going on planet Earth?
Boy. So they ended up canceling the prelims and just made it a finals only show today on Sunday, or the day that we're recording. So In marching, so this is the Temecula Percussion Regional, the finals. In Scholastic Marching A, you had Carlsbad takes that title for 73.6. In Independent Marching A, Pace Percussion Ensemble takes that for 78.7. Concert A, you had Price Charter School with a nice number for them, 80.8. And Scholastic Marching Open, Great Oak takes that with a 79.950. Your Independent Marching Open Temecula champion was Merrick. See, I paid attention to see how it was pronounced, and then I forgot. Marikai. Beautiful show, by the way. And I'm not just saying that because I jacked up their name. It was a really, really cool show. The show was called Euphoria.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's one of the ones I did get to actually watch today.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, very cool floor design. They start with these white ribbons, and it's really cool. Like, I love the musical palette that they set up, and it was a really strong performance by them. But shout out to Elon. I've been following those guys on Instagram for a while, and to see like an actual performance from them, I was really impressed. They got some good notes happening, so some good things happening with Elon there. But Maricot takes the Independent Marching Open Championships with a nice number, 84. That'll get you. That'll hold some stuff for you. In the Scholastic Marching World, Chino Hills with an 89.2.
Jesus.
This show to me is a different direction that they've gone.
It's almost similar to old school.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, like when they had those boxes and scaffolding, it was like 4 of them.
Mm-hmm. With all the different like patterns.
Now you see me.
Yeah. And stuff like it's to me, this show was like some of those old ones, or where they had the kid that was being funny in that one show. I think he even had some lines. I don't know if he was really talking, maybe an audio thing. But when they
was a show before that one.
Yeah.
Because after that show, they kind of went on the serious, sentimental.
Yeah, they got
a good chunk of time.
Yeah. So to me, it kind of hints to some of those, to some of that a little bit. But I'm sitting here and looking at it, I'm just like, God dang it, Chino, because it's kind of brilliant because they turned the props and I was like, oh my gosh, now we're behind stage. I said, y'all, I can't. I was like, this is really brilliant. So it's gonna be rough, man. That Scholastic world class, man, and they playing notes. They come out the gate with it, and it's what Chino does. They got it's hands for days, man. It's well written and stuff like that. So this Scholastic world is gonna be pretty tight again. I think it's gonna come down to finals again, like it did last time. Because last time, to me, it felt like Chino may have just was gonna run away with it, and then Avon came out of nowhere. It was like But this time, they leave the door open, but it's gonna be I don't even know, because that Vista Marietta show is it. I do wish it had scored higher. Maybe I'm assuming Chino probably had more show on than they did.
Yeah,
Vista show wasn't done.
Chino was about done. I don't think.
Yeah, because Vista ended weird, and I was like, no way that's the end. But that show, yeah.
And the gap is a little closer. Just looking at recaps. Looking at recaps, both groups got a penalty. So without the penalty, Chino Hills would have flat out scored a 90. 90.05. And then Vista had a 3.6 point penalty. So they would have scored an 84.95. So that gap is a little bit closer than it was, and which I thought it was. I thought Vista played really well. Looks like visual.
Yeah, they did.
Visual
they moved really well.
Well, that's where the gap really was visual discrepancy in your effect captions. But still, that Vista show can go somewhere. For sure. But no, you can't. All right, you play Snarky Puppy. You got my attention. The show concept is an interesting one. I didn't catch the title of the show, but it's basically about a person who performs on stage or a group that performs on stage, and what happens when the lights go out and that world is over and stuff like that. So Chino Hills does a really good job of storytelling and making that work. So we'll see how that goes, because I don't think anybody else. I kind of consider this a little bit of a hype show. Yeah,
I'll give it. I do.
My personal opinion is it's kind of an answer to Avon, and we talk about stuff sometimes from a design standpoint, as is we want to design shows that the kids, especially in the scholastic world, that the kids can buy into, that they like, and things of that nature. And like I said, Chino Hills, while they have been on top, those shows are kind of some heavy, deeper, more methodical type of shows. And this is me not saying that Chino Hills kids don't have fun. But you wonder, doing that many shows like that in a row, are the kids like, we need something different? We got to do something to change it up, or something like that, So I wonder if this is kind of a response to that. But it's done really well. They have some fantastic musicians. I mean, the number's the number, and sometimes the number represents more of the gap than it does the actual number itself. And I think Vista put a good product out there, and it's like, okay, Chino's another level. Well, if we put them here, we gotta put Chino here. So the numbers got to work out the way that they did, and they did here. So this is why sometimes when like they'll pop at 89, don't be shocked if Chino Hills drops at their next show or something like that. Or they get there, they get in a show with Ayala, or same thing with Dartmouth. When these regionals start to mix groups together that hadn't seen each other yet, you'll get some scores that might drop, because now they're being compared to somebody closer to them.
That's why I constantly keep saying finals, compared to whatever I'm saying now to these shows. Always in, like, I can't wait to see what this is going to come out with finals. Just the same thing I said with the color guard. That's why I'm hoping Tarpon Springs goes to finals, because I'm ready to see Tarpon Springs and Avon and Carmel High School battle that out in color guard. So because it's when finals comes, things get different. These season scores matter, but things get different once you start going head to head.
So looking forward to that from them. But it is good. It is good. We got flow marching, and I think if they do the 24-hour replay, catch it. Well, God, by the time you watch this, it'll be gone. Anyway, just know that if it's a 24-hour replay, you need to watch that one. Independent Marching 8. Lord have mercy. Marching World.
That was
I was sold on it. Independent Marching World. Post Percussion takes that with a 90.7. Power second with an 85.55, and then Gold was third. Listen, I really liked Gold.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It is different. Listen, I think we mentioned this on, and I know we talked about this, and he said, we mentioned this a lot on during drum corps season about that bottom tier and that top tier, and how DCI this year, that bottom tier was just as messy as the top tier. And this year is the same, because I said it last year. I was like, man, they done messed around and led Blue Knights back into finals at WGI, and now you got all these groups who you never would have thought about coming up. Now you got Infinity 2. Now you got Gold causing some mess, and Blue Knight's not gonna want to let it up. You got all the rest of them, and then what's the Atlantic Quest gonna do? Are they gonna be mad enough to want to make an effort again? That bottom look out for the bottom groups in independent world this year more than you do the top groups, because that's going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is more.
That show was good.
Those cats. I know you got your cats you're fighting for your medalists, but the hunger is those kids hovering around 12 to 18.
Yeah, yeah,
because they know they got to be in the top 15 to get in the finals, and that's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for a final spot.
Because I bet anybody who has been around indoor enough could give you the top 6, maybe 7 groups right now. But you more than likely won't even have a clue about the bottom tier. And the funny thing, and like you just said, man, that bottom tier is nasty right now. Like, you're going to talk about the fight and so many groups that have just popped out of nowhere and shouting their names out. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm loving this season. I really am. Just the storylines that's developing already, just from the first regional. I mean, we've been seeing scores from drum rate, and we're actually going to go over those here in a second. But we've been seeing scores from drum rate, and just that was intriguing enough. But now you get to see some numbers from regional panels, and you can compare them a little bit more closely than you can local shows, because those guys have been trained the same way. Now, it's not definite, but nothing's definite when there's a human element involved. But you can start to see some things in play happening, and it's really cool. So we're gonna go ahead and switch over to the percussion rankings and talk about those really quick. So in Scholastic A right now, we got New Milford sitting up top after their regional win. Plainfield sitting second, and Pearl sitting third. There's your top 7. Just kind of scrolling through. So, as you can see now, as we're getting through the season, folks that haven't went out recently, those numbers will start to drop. So that number that Pearl number and that Kickapoo number that was hold strong, they're gonna have to make sure they come back with a vengeance and get in there. And Scholastic Open, you got Sawfair sitting up top, Oak Ridge second, and Clearbrook third.
Come on, Clearbrook.
So we got a nice little battle up here between Sawfair and Oak Ridge. Clearbrook's so tight. You can now see why that 80 mark, when we were going over scores, why that 80 mark's important right now in February. Yeah. Scoring, it's hard for a judge to put that number down that quick. That 8 is hard to draw in February. In April, in March, it gets a little easier. But in March and February, it's not as easy as we thought it would be. So, nice little competition here. And Percussion Scholastic World, our updated numbers. Chino Hill sitting up top, obviously, with an 89.3. Dartmouth for 87. Now, y'all didn't go out this week, so we don't know how that would turn out. Neither did Avon. Burleson Centennial. I don't know if I said this last week, but this is a group that's sneaky good. They stay in the mix.
Like a under radar group.
Yeah. Like they're just perennially in finals the past several years, and that's just a group you need to keep your eye on. And they usually have pretty good products. I mean, like I said, 82.25 in the world this weekend. So they got some good things going on. So looking to see what happens when Pedal comes back out. And then we got Franklin Central sitting up there.
Wait a minute.
I don't say that very often. KS Sparkman sitting at 10th after this past weekend out of Alabama. So yeah, lots of good things happening there. We'll go to concert class next, since they are all basically Scholastic groups. In concert A, Pentaford's number still holds. Now they did, unless I read that wrong, they did go out this past weekend and I think they scored like an 83. So I don't know if they just missed them or what, but Penn Stafford did go out this past weekend with an 83. Warren County joins the 80 club with an 80.8 this past weekend. Lots of groups went out. Newman out of Georgia with a 75, and Kent McKinney, that's 75's holding, but Lewis Cass went out, and East Carter and the rest of Plymouth. So almost all the 8-class concert groups have gone out. Only one that hasn't yet is Ataka. I believe they're out of Oklahoma. So, in concert open, we have Cleveland, a little bit of ahead of DeSoto Center. So we got a little battle going on here. We'll to see it. And I forget who's the last open class group to go out. There's only one more open class group. And then in Concert World, you got Fisher sitting at the top right now, 81.6. Catawba Ridge and Quarterfolding are holding their spots. And then Turnstile, for 68 this past weekend. Also, shout out to Fishers. We did a react video to their championship show for last year, so you should check that out on our talk portion of it. We just did that, and man, you'll see why they are on top of their game.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
Just
it's
crazy.
Unreal.
The only world class group that hadn't gone out, I believe, is Ayala. So we hadn't seen that crew yet. So they'll probably be coming out soon. So there's your concert class groups. Go work out. All right. Anyway, and then your independent A groups. We got Modulation Z sitting up top, followed by
Mount Juliet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're still hanging on. I told you that number was big in the first week. Like I said, we'll see when they go back out again how that works. Infinity 3 moved up the ranks with the regional performance. You got Matrix A Ascension, which I think is new. And we talked about Nomad and Charlestown, I believe, is new as well. I hadn't heard much about them. So there's your independent A groups. Independent Open. America with an 84. See, I thought about it before I said it this time. Moving up the ranks. I listen, man. I'm telling you, it's good. United Percussion 2, which is what that means. With an 83, so they're right on their heels. Vision's holding tight. Impact moving up some Spartans. I hadn't seen that name in a long time. Good for them. Bakersfield, another perennial open class, good group. So you got in the open class, you got some heavy hitters here that are doing well, trying to get to that coveted 80 spot, because that's where you want to be. 80 will make you feel good about yourself right about now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then lastly, in the independent world, Pulse sitting up top with 90. United Percussion sitting second. Some Broken Cities third. Of course, they haven't gone out in a couple of weeks. So they may score 1,000 next time they go out. Matrix score still holds. Powell's up there. Rhythm X down to 6, and they went out this weekend.
That's right.
They did. And you got Gold and RCC. So RCC hasn't gone out in about a month. So out of change. MCM a couple of weeks. So some of this stuff will change. But when was the last time you seen a leaderboard look like this?
Man, what you said.
That's crazy. These are storylines on top of storylines and
I've been talking about it for years, man. Break the mold. Break the normal. Break the mold. You always I'm one of those, man. I got my home teams, I got my alumni, I got all these groups, and that's the root and the cheer and the hope and the pray, I'm going to forever want them to medal. I'm going to forever want them to win. That's not going to ever change. But at the end of the day, it's the activity as a whole that I love. And I want to see, for lack of a better way, you want to see everybody eat, you want to see everybody get to the top. Shaking things up. That's why I thought, especially like drum corps, it was so amazing to finally see, you know, Blue Coats win, Crown won. You got Boston Crusaders tagging on everybody's tail right now. You know, that stuff fantastic to me. And then you know, so
the parody is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, you get tired of the.
We've talked
not
about
that you don't
Infinity
enjoy those groups, but you get tired of the same old winning every year.
Because we thought Infinity was going to do it, you know, especially back in the day when, you know, when they did that. What they had, it's like one of the biggest floors I've ever seen. They had like 30,000 people on the floor. It was like a big sky, and they were planes or something, or birds. You remember that show? For Infinity, it was a big blue floor. I think they were birds or something like that. It was huge.
The blue floor show that I remember was the British Invasion show.
Well, they did that too.
That's the one that I remember the most.
They had like red on and stuff like that. Like that show was dope too. But back in them days, I was hoping they were gonna break the mold, but I thought it was good. You know, we did get some new blood. We did get Broken City. Came in, popped in, and then, you know, years before then, RCC popped their face in, and so
Pulse. All right, well, it was Pulse before.
Yeah,
RCC.
Pulse did.
Pulse after RCC.
Yeah. So, you know, and then once those groups, you know, they ride it for so long, and then it just sucks because you'll see these glitz and glimmers, like, you know. Cap City was so captivating to everybody last year. Like, people were just talking the mess out of it because they just played so many notes and everything was like quadruple forte. It was like, you know, so much energy in the show, and you want to see shows that you enjoy and you love get there someday.
Yep.
You know, we all understand, you know, it's a whole trifecta you got to make sure you're doing and everything, but in the end of the day, you still want to see some shakeups. Like, you know, it's like, y'all gonna be good, no doubt, but you need to get tested. At some point, somebody's gonna do the right show at the right time.
Troopers.
Let them know they made a whole lot of folks mad this year.
Colts.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, Academy, that show that they got in finals. I know this is drum corps, not WGI related, but the year that Academy made finals, that was like the perfect storm for them.
So that's why same thing. That's why I've been preaching this bottom tier for WGI. It's like, man, listen, Infinity 2 done got up in here, and I thoroughly enjoyed Blue Knight's show from last year, and I was so proud of them for getting back into finals. I mean, they pulled the Troopers. They've been in finals for years, and then they finally got back into finals. And now, like I said, now you got Infinity coming up, and now you got all these bottom list groups coming out of nowhere, go with a great show this year, and some folks gonna be making some noise. I think these other groups is tired of it too. They want to see some stuff shake up.
Yeah, it's more than one way to skin a cat. So, real quick, regionals that's happening this weekend. The feature regionals probably for guards are going to be in Austin, Texas. It's a 2-day regional. It's going to be on flowmarching.com, so you can catch it there. There's also regionals in Flint, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Tulsa, Oklahoma for guard. And then for percussion and winds, the Indianapolis, Indiana regional is going to be probably the one you want to watch. We got that one's going on Flow, and I believe they actually got 2 regionals going on Flow. That one in Richmond, Virginia. Both are going to be on Flow. Indiana's a 2-day regional. Richmond is a 1. I am off this weekend, so I'm actually going to be able to watch some shows. So I'm looking forward to that. There's also going to be a regional in Katy, Texas, and in Spartanburg, South Carolina. They're also doing the virtual solo prelims for both percussion and guard, so you can catch those out on Flow Marching as well. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, which is where you can watch the podcast. You can also listen to us on Anchor.fm and Spotify. We kicked back on Perk Talk. So as we mentioned on there, we got some videos coming up on there that you can watch. We're going to shift a lot of our React videos for percussion to that part of the channel. unless it's just one of those iconic shows that everybody needs to see. Then we'll put it on the main React channel. But we're going to use the other React channel for guard stuff and wins videos during the WGI season. That way, you can kind of keep those a little bit separate and do those type of things. So, fellas, you got anything else?
Nope.
Very good. So
it's an exciting time of the year.
Yeah. Next time we see you, it'll be actually March when you are listening to this. I keep forgetting we post on Wednesday now, not Tuesday. But yeah, so it's March. Happy March. Like I said, March Madness coming up. We might need to do something about that. See if we can come up with something. That'd be cool. Maybe get some interaction. Maybe do like a poll or something. I don't know. Maybe set up a
bracket challenge.
You can do
bracket challenge.
That could be. I like. See. That's why we keep you on the podcast. Well, that and your handsome looks. Anyway. All right. Before I say something to get me in trouble, this is Cedric. That's Will and Zach, and for Chris. This has been episode number 28 of On the Back Hash. Make sure you guys take care of each other. Be nice to each other. Love one another. Go out and watch the show, support a group, do all that good stuff. So, if there's nothing else. We are dut
out.